Hello. I want to get this out of sight, and I want to get all my takes of every NFL game that went on for Week 7. Then I'm going to recap, get my picks on for Week 8 before it even starts. Edit it, upload it tomorrow morning, get this thing clean, out of mind, out of sight. And I got to get ready for Crown Jewel, even though I'll be at school at the time when it's airing on a Thursday at 12 in the afternoon when I start school. So, this is going to be fun. It's going to be super fun. This is going to be funner than anything I've done in a long time. Because I know that I already make like 20 to 30 minute videos. And if I do this individually, I waste my time. When I do this all together in one small package, it doesn't get that many views, but either way, it's done. It's simplified. I do this quick, segment to segment. And let's get ready. I'm gonna start off order, but every game will be finished because it was week 7. The Buffalo Bills defeat division in the divisional game against the Miami Dolphins that lost 21-31. That'll get them for a 6-game stretch. They already have the worst regular season record in the AFC East. It's already rough enough that you have Ryan Fitzpatrick strictly starting for you, and it seems like the deadline is nearly coming out with already Josh Rosen in the trade block, seeing how inconsistently he's performing, and Ryan Fitzpatrick over his 4 starts. And I think Rosen only had 3 starts for a majority of the season. It's already trash enough that he went for an abysmal 23 of 35 and still threw a touchdown with a terrible pick on a tremendous defense like the goddamn Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen went 16 of 26. He went with 206 yards with 202 yards with only 2 touchdowns. And I see him hitting short passes over to Frank Gore. He's nearly hitting. He's hitting John Brown. He's hitting Patrick DeMarco. DeMarco and Duke Williams for short route passes. Josh Allen is still one of the best scrambling quarterbacks in the league thanks to his immense size. I didn't see much of the game with the Bills, but watching the highlights, it was a fun. It seemed like a good game to be a Bills fan because now they're for playoff contention since like the 2017 season when they were etching out thanks to that little game. Thanks to it was determined if the Bengals could etch out the Baltimore Ravens, and if the Ravens won, they would take off the playoff spot, and that was the last time Joe Flacco was an actual dangerous part. Cole Beasley only had 3 catches, even though he was targeted 6 times. There was a couple drops, especially coming from Dawson Knox that only had 2 catches. At least almost everybody got a reception except Andre Roberts that was only targeted once because it went out. The defense was doing its part, and hey! At least they picked up an interception. Didn't go for much. That was Tre'Davious White, the last year's rookie, I think. And he did well. The coverage was spot on. Ryan Fitzpatrick was just etching out later in the third quarter. And the team is still winless. At least they actually put up points, other than what the fuck they did against Washington the week before, so. You gotta be proud of that, right? You have to. You need to. And we sorta do. What the fuck? Okay, next up was a 9-0 victory against the Washington Redskins. My 49ers. I would wear the jersey. I would love to wear my jersey out, but here's the thing. I asked my aunt that purchased it for my 19th birthday. Still love you for that amazing gift. That's still an amazing gift. I've never had an NFL jersey like that before. And it was customized with my high school jersey number I wore in my senior year. So I will always keep that to my heart. But it's a double X because I thought that they would make them like fit like stretched out material because like you see the NFL players wear. No, it's regular jersey and it comes out so big that I literally have to wear my sweater under the jersey for it to be a reasonable fit. And it's something I won't wear unless I'm in the game and it's cold as hell. Jimmy Garoppolo threw for a 12 of 21. And we finally got Emmanuel Sanders. Tavon Coleman was performing well up the gut. Matt Breida, he was just there for short route passes. Oh, God, the Redskins played like shit. Adrian Peterson couldn't run anywhere. Now he's 6 all-time rushing after what happened on Monday Night Football. Even though he got 81 yards, he's literally the most positive part about the offense, about the Redskins. No one cares. Jeremy Skittle can't catch a football, even though this is the most consistent I've saw Jeremy Skittle in a long time after dropping, I think, 2-3 passes he had against Miami. And then he comes around giving it to Trey Quinn, then Wendell Smallwood, that only had one catch for 18 yards. The highest amount of catches in this defensively riddled game was literally 30 yards. I think this is the only game to go up to single digits for the season so far. And it was off Richie James and Kendrick Bourne. He played well. 69 yards off 3 catches. He did well. Our defense obviously put up the points. Nick Bosa came around, sacked Case Keenum when he was trying to get out the pocket. Obviously a bad decision. He also had 4 tackles for loss, coming strictly off stopping Adrian Peterson. And our defense just continues making me proud. And I wish our offense just did the same thing. I mean, we're still undefeated. Our defense is amazing. Our secondary is putting in the work. Richard Sherman playing amazingly. And come on. All because Jimmy Garoppolo threw pretty shit and he kept chucking the ball out of bounds. He was still the best part of our offense, even though it could have went to Tavon Coleman and some of our role players stepping out because Marquise Goodwin was not there. And so it wasn't Dante Pettis. It was just short routes and us creating yardage and hitting up 3 field goals. None of us scored a touchdown. In this entire game, none of us scored a touchdown. That's 3 field goals. In a boring game, and we're the top team. We're number 1 on defense right now. So, that's the Niners in our assumed legacy of playing well in the regular season. Hopefully that registers for the postseason. Last time we were in the postseason, Seahawks bitch slapped us in the divisional round. Well, the only positives is Bills are currently 5-1. They haven't got a start like that since 2008. And the last thing that happened in 2008, the Bengals being winless, losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The only positive about this, the Jacksonville Jaguars get out of that losing slump after having a 2-0 run, and they started 3-1 after Gardner Minshew started for the fucking Jaguars since the departure of Nick Foles. That's coming to practice. Bengals, what the fuck are we gonna do with you? No AJ Green. Your defense is a mess. Trey Fitzpatrick should be on the fucking trading block. You guys should obviously do what any other team is doing. Get rid of most of your team. Because DJ Clark wasn't performing at his best, even though he's been the leading receiver for the last couple weeks. Day Westbrook, DJ Clark, Leonard Fournette made a number of you assholes off short routes and generally, and fucking Leonard Fournette putting up his best games for sure this season with 131 yards rushing and edging out. You guys even, I think you sacked Gardner Minshew twice, and then he came off with a huge toss play over to Leonard Fournette, and he rushed for like I think 30 something yards out of their own end zone. Minshew also made a mess of your defense, even though he went like 15 of 31. 32. He got 255 yards. Either way, bitch slapped you guys 27-17. This game was a mess from the start. Andy Dalton just proves that statistics doesn't beat winning because he went 22 of 43. He still threw 276 yards, and you assholes are so bad. Andy Dalton's your leading rusher on the team, not Joe Mixon. Not Giovanni Bernard. It's Andy Dalton because he was scrambling out the pocket so much because his offensive line is such a joke. Alex Erickson put up maybe his career stats of only 8 catches and 37 yards. Auden Tate was there. That's an underrated receiver, young receiver, and he's good. Tyler Boyd only got 55 yards, and he was just chucking the ball so up and under, hitting curl routes, or he'll just hit a short little out route off the corner so we can get a simple little 30-yard, 25-yard gain or 17-yard gain. No matter how you think of it, at least the secondary came up to play to stop Minshew, Sam Hubbard, their linebacker, Denard, and B.W. Webb got 2 pass deflections, no interceptions. But there was a couple of tackles of loss coming from Sean Williams and D tackle Geno Atkins that stopped Gardner Minshew in a couple scrambling attempts. While any other thing, the Jaguars played amazingly, and they're back on competing in the AFC South. Even though I think it's just dead set and arrival that the Texans or the Colts are still going to be competing come later, like week 10, week 12. I don't see the Jaguars coming in later, even if Nick Foles come back from injury come this week or like next week. I don't really care at this point because either way, when you have Nick Foles or not, your defense is still your strongest point. Even though you guys got rid of Jalen Allen for a couple late round picks, your defense is still a mess. AJ Boye barely comes into play at times. He barely gets pass deflections. He gets burnt out nearly every play. Miles Jack, DJ Alexander, Yannick, and fucking Josh Allen are playing their heart out, and it's still not good enough. You guys allowed this guy, Alex Erickson, to beat the shit out of you guys over coverage. Jaguars defense needs something, like a signing, something. The deadline's nearly up, and even the Raiders are making moves. The Raiders are always making moves because that Gruden grinder part of their goddamn mentality is just get rid of generational talent and make them succeed elsewhere. The Bears are performing well, and the goddamn Cowboys just picked up Michael Bennett for just a few rounds, for a few draft picks. What the fuck? Adam Thielen didn't come out to play for the Monday Night Football game, and they shut out the Washington Redskins, obviously. Stephon Diggs, well done defense, and collapsing offensive line. The only positive part of that game was the Redskins. Was Adrian Peterson. Other than that, the game was a complete mess, and obviously the Redskins were going to lose to the goddamn Vikings. Now they come 2 straight losses after beating the Miami Dolphins on week 6. And now we come to Kirk Cousins making this game as close as it shouldn't have been against the Lions. I'm being serious here, bro. Like, you threw 4 touchdowns, and so did Matthew Stafford. The only saddest part was your secondary coverage not coming down to play, making goddamn so many guys catch touchdowns. 4 touchdowns coming from Matthew Stafford. And most of them went over to Marvin Jones. beating Xavier Rhodes a couple times. Good for your defense. You let post routes beat the shit out of you guys. And Marvin Jones caught 10 completions off your head. And you let Danny Amendola rape you assholes for 105. Getting some good plays off the red zone. No Darius Slay. No Rashawn Melvin, even though he tackled the shit out of some guys, but never for a tackle for loss. Because they were just letting shit fly. I'm just saying get rid of everybody. Darius Slay didn't come to play, but he did come to slay. No pussy on the defense. Trey Flowers wasn't playing. Nobody came to play. Nobody from the secondary came out to play. It was just an air raid all over the field. Kirk Cousins, Tavon Cooks came around just etching out the game later on in the fourth. It was just a tremendous play. It's just a tremendous game going on for a majority of the huge. And this was a 1 o'clock game. Vikings end off to be 5-2, but now they're 6-2 after beating the Redskins. That's good because the Packers are kind of killing it in the NFC North. They need to make it happen. Tavon Cook went for a 4-yard play off the red zone, and Kyle Rudolph caught a short route play because the secondary couldn't beat shit. I'm shocked, really, how many plays that they allowed. And you're telling me that this team is still going to be a contender. Kirk Cousins, he isn't a bust. And you're seeing right now what he can do. Monitor off the offense, even though I think he overthrows the ball sometimes. I feel like he's a bit overrated. I don't think he's that much of a field general. And we're seeing this firsthand, and Tavon Cook is just making sure that this team stays on top. He's literally carrying this offense. And that's not completely a bad thing because you kind of need a good running team, or else you don't have an overall team that can compete with the Patriots or any other team that's good with the run and the pass, like the Chiefs or the Texans or the Jaguars. Fuck it, the Jaguars are even good at the run and the pass. The Raiders, so are the Packers that improved tremendously. That nearly beaten their own rushing touchdown record a few weeks before. Now, we're about to see history being made. The Packers go off at Lambeau Field, facing off against the Raiders, and get shut the fuck up at 24-42. And the Packers are now 15-3 in the AFC West since 2002. You see how shit they are. I remember facing against the Chargers last year. They pimp slapped the shit out of them. And that was their weakest season. Oh boy, I don't think I've ever seen them lose to an AFC West team before. I know I've seen them face off against the Raiders a couple times, but by God, the offense came to play. Aaron Rodgers threw for an amazing I thought he threw for 300. He threw 293, and he still was shooting lights out with 2 touchdown passes. Aaron Jones. Oh my God, no, that was Derek Carr. I know he threw for 429 with Aaron Jones getting like a touchdown catch from near the end of the game, hitting short routes and hitting bombs over to Marcus Van Scandling. He hit Jimmy Graham over for a huge like sidewalk for a touchdown. Jake Kamaru, that performed well over the red zone and got some good deep passes. I saw that little streak route he hits from a third down later in the third, and he got a good catch. This was great offensively, and the Raiders came later in the second half. It wasn't a valiant effort. They're now 3-3. Their chances of leading the AFC South is kind of dead set on arrival. They kind of fucking suck defensively. And you see Aaron Rodgers making sure everybody on the receiving core, even the running team, get a catch. Everybody went over two receptions or less. Or more in the game, and he barely skipped a beat. Almost everybody on the team went over 25 yards due reception. Their defense barely played a factor, and they still performed well. Stopping the run, stopping Derek Carr over a couple pass deflections up the pocket. They treated Derek Carr like a little shit, and he only threw one interception. He only got 2 good catches. The running team, Josh Jacobs isn't that bad. I saw him when he played off against the goddamn Chargers, and he played averaged against the Chiefs. I think that in the Broncos as well. He went for 124, rushed for a couple yards. DeAndre Washington was just there. I didn't see much. Darren Walker got 2 touchdown catches, and so did tight end Foster Monroe, but that didn't play a factor later in the game. That was like a fourth quarter catch, and he caught twice. So that was pretty much it. The Raiders kind of got pimp slapped, and now they trail off after performing decently the past couple weeks, and now they're sub 500, playing 3 for 3, and now they're like third best in the AFC West. So thanks, Mahomes is gone. At least they can give him a boost of confidence. The Chiefs are still gonna win regardless. No way, they got the Packers. They're fucked. Oh, wow. Oh, man, they are so fucked. They are raped. They are getting so raped. Oh, God, they're fucked. Okay, next up was one of my favorite games. And, you're gonna like this one. You're gonna love it. Ravens play it off against the the Seattle Seahawks later at like 3 o'clock or 6. Either way, the goddamn Ravens did it. After I think they trailed off, losing 2 straight. I think they lost 2 straight, and they come back winning their 5th game against the Seattle Seahawks. Thanks to DK Metcalf, a bit of inconsistency coming from the secondary, and a weak Lamar Jackson that went 9 of 20. Their defense picked up the slack, and Mark Ingram and Lamar's rushing over third downs were literally, and the dagger came off a rushing touchdown coming from Lamar Jackson. So gotta give him that. You guys are not even gonna fucking touch the divisional round with this type of offense. And I like Gus Edwards. I like Mark Ingram. I love Lamar Jackson. I think he's an underrated passer. Miles Boykins, Mark Andrews came to play, but Mark Andrews only got 2 receptions out of 8 targets, and some of them came out of Lamar's risque passing and a few drops. Nick Doyle played well, but he should have caught the ball more. Jaden Hurst should have caught the ball more, but they were getting stopped over coverage, and Lamar Jackson was just, oh shit, they were just terrible. But I gotta tell you, Marcus Peters got a pick 6. He got a tremendous pass deflection. Brandon Carr, he's going to play well with his good secondary. And you got Marlon Humphreys, that's an underrated corner. You have Earl Thomas, and you got from former NFC champs, you got fucking Marcus Peters. You can't go wrong with the secondary. This will be annoying, especially to some good offenses like the Seattle Seahawks. Even though Russell Wilson was throwing way better, and he only got 1 touchdown. And that pick 6 kind of nearly sealed the game, and it was getting upsetting for the Redskins. Chris Carson only got 65 yards off 21 carries. Russell Wilson was sadly only 27 yards, and I thought he got a rushing touchdown. Tyler Lockett got a deep-ass play over the run, obviously from Wilson to Lockett. Jarron Brown, DK Metcalf dropped a couple balls. He even got an open curl route. One came off contact, the other one came off a complete drop. DK Metcalf played like shit. And over the past 3 weeks, he played well. Now he's playing like shit. That Malik Turner is a more valuable replacement that you can start than fucking DK Metcalf. David Moore played like shit. Somehow, Chris Carson was just getting slumped by the defense. KJ Wright, Bobby Warner was deflecting passes over the pocket that just left Lamar Jackson doing the best thing he can do, better than his passing, is rushing, carrying out the football and scrambling over third downs. 18-yard gain. Fucking 22-yard gain. He rushed for the defense so much. He split open the gap and he just went through for like a 30-something yard gain. The dude went off rushing the football. I just don't trust Lamar Jackson too much with rushing the football because that can't be the most valued source. You have to pick it up. You have to make your passing yards complement your rushing yards, or else you're going to be a complete scuffed joke. Sure, you faced off against a good defense in the Seattle Seahawks, but by God, oh boy, this is going to be rough of the second half of the season. Next up was the Denver Broncos playing off against the Kansas City Chiefs, and this was a Monday Night Football game. And I gotta tell you one thing. No one gave a fuck about this game. No one did. I didn't. Because I know the Chiefs are going to win. Pat Mahomes got hurt. He's out for 3 weeks. Still threw a touchdown pass. The best thing for the Broncos was just allowing flags to come on the field. Literally trying to pressure off Pat Mahomes. And that was working until the second half happened. Even Matt Moore exposed your defense as being an over blitzing uncomprehensive Mets. And even Matt Moore threw a passing touchdown. That was fucking terrible. Sean McCoy, oh boy, only 64 yards, and Tyreek Hill still caught a pass off Pat Mahomes. No, that was off Matt Moore. The real touchdown pass came from like a 20-something yarder coming from Mecole Hardman. This wasn't much of an exciting game. The defense just picked up the slack. Emmanuel Mahoide, fucking Tyrann Mathieu went off with 5 tackles and even stuffed up a few good third down plays. The fucking Broncos played like shit. Joe Flacco, I think, threw a pick or something. He threw 2 picks. No, he didn't throw an interception at all, I think. He still played like shit. Got deflected so many times and failed on third down conversions. That comes off to the mediocre receiving core. I thought Cortland Sutton was going to get off, but I forgot that their secondary is so fucking scary. Royce Freeman, Emmanuel Sanders, they could barely even etch out over 100 yards. Joe Flacco still played like shit. They didn't utilize Phillip Lindsay. He only got 11 carries and gave the rest to Royce Freeman, when they know Lindsay is a more superior rusher. And they just came off of Joe Flacco throwing 213 yards, but still shit. Throwing it deep. Throwing it overthrown. Tyrann Mathieu rejecting the shit out of it because obviously your offense hasn't been good since fucking Peyton Manning was still on the team. And you think just putting in any mediocre rookie or any other mediocre former Pro Bowler from like 2012 is going to get your ass done. It doesn't. The Broncos fucking suck. Your O-line was so shit. They didn't even know how to combo block or even edge block completely. They couldn't even help out their tackles. And their tackles were getting smoked. Their tackles were really getting smoked. They kept blocking each other. It wasn't good on defense. You know how many times they got tackled for loss, forced fumbles, coming from Lindsay, coming from Emmanuel Sanders, another one coming from Joe Flacco, just being a complete fuck up from the O-line. And that's from offensive line's fault. That's just from the offensive line fault. You know how many times he got sacked? More than you can fucking count from how many times I'm about to say. Anthony Hitchens sacked him. Frank Clark sacked him. And so did Alex Okafor. Sacked him. Oh, Richie Redmond sacked him. And those were off from the Broncos side of the field. He got sacked. This was an embarrassing display. Fuck the Broncos. Sorry, Matt Perna. Your franchise, your team is a complete joke. And the only reason why the fucking Broncos won that Super Bowl is because their defense can just excuse all of that offensive joke that was just chucking the ball over to speedster, mediocre receivers that could only last 2 to 4 years in the NFL, and the overly abusive fiance. What the fuck is wrong with the fucking Joe Flacco's mentality to think he was an elite quarterback? He's more elite than fucking packs that you get, than those little advanced warfare shits from those supply drops you get that are so easy to get elite shit from. I want to die because of Joe Flacco's existence. And that's not a healthy mentality to have. Because as a black man, I have to witness watching this almost every Sunday until January. Because I know the Broncos are not going to make it to the playoffs. I know the Broncos aren't going to make it unless John Elway is shot on sight. Their head coach gets his head out of his ass. You actually think of smart signings in free agency. And stop going for the simplistic late-round quarterback that you get from the American Conference. Or Ole Miss. Start the fucking rookie. I don't care right now. Just start Drew Lock. I don't care if you face off against the Bengals right now. Fuck off. This team is a joke. Next up, we have Atlanta Falcons that are a joke in life. They suck. I said it. They suck. I was a believer. That the Falcons were going to end out and beat an aging Patriots team, an overrated receiving core, and a secondary that's been overrated since Super Bowl 48. I thought they were going to do it with an aging offensive line. The Falcons back then actually had good receivers. They were good when Taylor Gabriel was on the fucking team. And Taylor Gabriel is now catching big 40-yard bombs from Mitchell Trubisky. Oh, God, you guys fucking suck. Austin Hooper catching third down bombs, and he only got 46 yards. Julio Jones just caught some deep routes, but somehow he didn't get a touchdown. Another one came off Austin Hooper. Matt Schaub got later in the game because of a Matt Ryan injury, and he went 6 of 6. But that was only in the second half. The Falcons still played like shit and only got one touchdown like in the fourth quarter, while the Rams was just beating the shit out of Matt Ryan, only getting 16 of 27, 159 yards of complete piss and incompletions off the wazoo. You don't want to know how many times he got deflected. Now Mohamed Sanu is gone to the Patriots, and now they got a black receiver. That means they gotta win the Super Bowl. They got a black receiver. The only receiving threat that they have that's black is Sony Michel. And they can just win they can just go 16-0 just off rushing the football with Sony Michel and a couple screen passes over to whatever the fuck Julian Edelman is going to do. Oh, God, you guys were a joke. Johnny Hecker can make this team good, and that was off a fake punt. No, I think it was a fake field goal, and they still got the third down. They are so confident that they can do like 2 fourth down conversions. I think they went through 4 fourth down conversions. They are the worst defense in the NFL. Fuck Vic Beasley. Fuck Desmond Trufant. Fuck Deion Jones. He barely got a pass. He barely did well. He played average. He played well against the system quarterback. Ishmael Kamal Ishmael was shit. Dante Kaz was shit. So was Ricardo Allen that got mossed. I think Deion Jones got mossed a couple times off Woods. Cooper Kupp was shitting on this defense. Cooper fucking Kupp. And Robert Woods played well. So did Gerald Everett. Brandon Cooks kept getting third down receptions off your ass and first down catches. Jalen Ramsey only got a pass deflection, a forced fumble, but he still did his job. Corey Littleton, the linebacker, got a big pass deflection pick off Matt Ryan. Dante Fowler as well got a huge pass deflection. Your defense fucking suck. Your offense is a joke too. Jesus Christ. You're trying to chuck it over to Julio Jones. Your fucking rushing sucks, and so does your offensive line. The Falcons are a joke. I don't want to hear anything about the Falcons. If you still think they're going to trail off and win the next 6 or 7 games coming up, I hope you really castrate yourself with something metallic and heating over 500 degrees, because there's no chance in hell they're even touching the playoffs. Feel like if they started Kyle Allen for the remainder of the season, I feel like I'd rather see a 9-7 Panthers team with Kyle Allen and an obese Lacy, Eddie Lacy, than whatever the fuck the goddamn Falcons thinking that they're still a competitive team. Next up, Texans and Colts, and I think one of my favorite games. Thanks, I thought that the Texans were actually going to not win. And I was right, because if you watch my picks videos, I actually predicted the Colts winning because of their tremendous defense and Jacoby Brissett playing like he's fucking luck. And he is technically luck. Threw out the ball, gave it over to nearly everybody. Eric Ebron got a couple good catches off corner routes. No one could touch T.Y. Hilton. It came off a couple of rushes off Carlos Hyde. Did he even do anything? Deshaun Jackson was just trying to see if he can Deshaun Watson was just trying to chuck over the ball to almost everybody. Duke Johnson got a couple plays later on. He finally got minutes. DeAndre Hopkins and Kenny Stills was doing well. And this is off the past 3 weeks. Kyle Fuller, 2 to 3 weeks, Kyle Fuller came to being the second threat, and I think he got injured later in the game. He only got 1 catch and only went for 6 yards, and this is off him doing well against Atlanta. Now you play off against a defensively well done team. Watson threw 2 picks against a team that came to play. Jacoby Brissett got 326 yards, 4 touchdowns. He gave one, and Marlon Mack was just raping the offensive shreds and making sure he just moves out. And off opening drives, he did well. I didn't see him for long in the third or fourth quarter. But Zach Pascal was catching balls. T.Y. Hilton off corner routes alone, or at least short out routes, he was mossing defenders. Eric Ebron played tremendously. The defense, Malik Hooker. Justin Houston got 2 sacks off Deshaun Watson that was just sticklering around the pocket. He was barely even motioning and he did rush the football a couple times. He only got 30 yards. Darius Leonard, Pierre Desir just played well. So did Jabal Shred. Shred? Fuck me, I'm never good with names. Never put me in a spelling bee. Everybody played well. And Desir and Darius Leonard got some good boneheaded picks coming from Deshaun Watson. I'm proud of the Colts, and they're still doing well. And this is coming off Brissett taking over for generational talent from Andrew Luck. R.I.P. the career of Andrew Luck. He's not dead. You sick fucks. He's not dead. Hopefully. At least he gets a bask in the sunlight and know that he was an NFL superstar. And that's a proud thing to happen. That's a proud thing, because I've been watching this dude since his rookie year, and I thought he was better than RG3. I thought he was going to be a superstar. I thought he was going to be better than Tom Brady. And sadly, I wish he had a few more years in his career, because I really thought he could win a Super Bowl and bring one back to the Colts that we haven't seen in years. But it's football. Nothing's guaranteed in life, like the NFL. But the XFL, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop it right there. I'm saving the Eagles and Cowboys game because it's my favorite game. Week 7. You're about to see why soon. We're going to go into another 1 o'clock game going Cardinals, Giants. The Giants picked it up in the fourth quarter. They couldn't get it done. It just came off Daniel Jones. It wasn't really technically Daniel Jones' fault because he threw good. He was reading out the corners. He was doing well. And this came off the return of David Johnson from injury. A good portion of rushing. Kyler Murray was passing lights out. Well, he was rushing lights out as well. That's why he only got 28 yards. So he was doing well first down wise. And Chase Edmonds, that had 3 carrying touchdowns, raping this defense. David Johnson was just there. And he only got like 2 yards. Chase Edmonds was just rushing out like 30. He was carrying the ball so well. It was so good. And I think he got like 2 touchdowns in like the first quarter or just in the second half in general. It was just brutal. What the fuck was this Giants team? Golden Tate dropping footballs. Oh, God. This came off Chase Edmonds going for 20 yards. Then another shotgun handoff over for another 20-yard gain for a touchdown. There was no Sterling Shepard, so there was very little threats on offense other than a Golden Tate. Got for 80 yards, but he only got 11, and he only was targeted 11 times. Saquon Barkley was just there, 72 yards. He did get a touchdown later in the fourth, but out of the question. It was not the best offense. The defense was shit! Die with a fucking anything. Antoine Bethea got a pass deflection. Janoris Jenkins, your secondary is alright. But your D-line and your linebacking core can lick a penis. They sucked. Could barely stop Chase Edmonds. Do you think you guys are going to be good for the majority of the season? You're now 2-5, and we thought the best game you guys could play. And I knew the Cardinals were going to win. They literally have a more superior all-around team, and Daniel Jones was just sucked up, getting sacked, getting incomplete passes. Golden Tate was targeted a bit too much. 11 fucking passes targeted to him. And he only got 7 of those. Not because of the weather. The weather wasn't the main factor. It was raining like later in the afternoon. It was a 1 o'clock game. You faggots you made him drop 2-3 passes over short routes. He dropped a deep ball that he missed. That Daniel Jones a bit overthrown, but that was off terrible. Golden Tate is an experienced receiver, and he was looking like shit, and he was getting passes from a rookie quarterback. Terrell Suggs beat the shit out of him. Patrick Peterson, that just came back over a 7-game suspension, beat the shit out of you. And you're rushing. And a big pick coming from Jordan Hicks. Zach Kerr, Baker was just doing their job, just stopping short routes being targeted from Daniel Jones, and it comes off 27 to 21. Now the Arizona Cardinals are like competitive somehow with an aging defense and a young offense that only picks up when Kyler Murray is fresh to run, and the receivers choose to pick up the football. Larry Fitzgerald beat the shit out of you. I'm joking. He was barely a factor. He only got 12 yards off one catch. And Chase Edmonds was still beating the shit out of you. It was mainly a running game that you guys couldn't do anything with. Because we overutilized a run and our coach is a fucking joke. It only focused on a couple pass interference penalties like that was going to work. You guys still lose by 6 by a team that was registered to have the worst record in the NFL. Oh, wait, that was the Broncos. Now it's the goddamn Dolphins and it's the goddamn Bengals. Oh, wow. Next up, who's 1 yard short, bitch? Guess who's 1 yard short in this bitch? It's the motherfucking goddamn LA Chargers that lose 20-23. And I love the coach. I love Phillip Rivers. I love Melvin Gordon. I love Keenan Allen. I love Joey Bosa. I love their defense. I just can't stand when Phillip Rivers' offensive line fails him and his inconsistency to throw the football. The Titans made a number of you assholes, and Ryan Tannehill starting for the team was amazing. You know how to read receivers. He actually threw the ball well. And as much as Ryan Tannehill is kind of one of the most forgettable quarterbacks you're going to see, he's still one of the better quarterbacks you saw in Miami. He did well. Rivers chucked the ball as much as he could. Off 24 of 38, 329 yards, and tried to edge it out later in the fourth, even though it came off a couple penalties. And Melvin Gordon still not getting into the end zone. Guess who's 1 yard short, bitch? 312 yards off 29. He completed 23 of those. Derrick Henry was playing amazingly. Corey Davis, Jonnu Smith, A.J. Brown, Adam Humphries. That was a former Buccaneer. Just continued to shut you guys out. The defense played amazingly. Even though they caused a bit of a fumble for Phillip Rivers. Ryan Tannehill got fumbled a bit. The offensive line wasn't doing their just for Ryan Tannehill himself, but Rashaan Evans, Logan Ryan, Jeffrey Simmons, and a bit of Malcolm Butler made the defense pretty good. Malcolm Butler got a big pass deflection from a deep play over to Keenan Allen. Kevin Byard played well. So did Logan Ryan that got 3 pass deflections. The dude, it was pretty good. Rivers was just stuck on the pocket, tucking the football around until he can find anybody. Melvin Gordon played like shit off 32 yards and was only there up the red zone. He failed to convert twice in the red zone. The O-line couldn't do justice, and it took penalties and a couple ways of time to know. Oh, wait, that wasn't in. Well, they lose off being 1 yard short. Big whoop. Your punter sucks. Your kicker sucks. It was alright. But still, goddamn, guys. What was this? This is not the Chargers from last time that was winning 9 straight. So was the Texans. You guys are playing shit. 2-5? A 2-5 start. Jesus. I'm expecting the best out of the Chargers. I love the Chargers. Just Jesus Christ. Melvin Gordon playing like shit. Eckler, Hunter, Henry. Keenan Allen only went for 61 yards, even though he should be playing lights out. A white receiver's doing better than you, fam. No racial. A bit racial. I'm hearing kid argue with his mother currently in the background. Not really any of my concern, but I just want to make this a bit more entertaining. Next up, Bears face off against the Saints. And then we're going up to our 2 primetime games that we have. And the only buys are the Steelers, Browns, Panthers, Bucks. And now we go into our final regular game until we go to our prime time, and that would be the Saints and the Bears. And Bridgewater threw lights out. Mitchell Trubisky could barely get completions off. The defense was doing their damnness to stop. Oh, God, they couldn't stop Tavius Murray for their lives until he got injured off the field. And Mitchell Trubisky could barely throw it up deep. So, yeah, the Bears ball off and they're 3-3. They lose against an undefeated team. They haven't lost a game since LA back at week 2. Latavius Murray still got like 190, 119. Taysom Hill, Bridgewater rushed up for only like desperation time. Bridgewater was playing like shit. Oh no, he played well. 2 touchdown passes, so he played amazingly. Went over to Josh Hill from I think an in route, some kind of in route play. He went inside the thing in the red zone, and another one over to Taysom Hill. Tyson Hill. That's a backup quarterback. So that's awesome. Can play receiver too. That's kind of fucking weird. Kiko Alonso. Not much. Cameron Jordan got 2 sacks. And Marshawn Lattimore. Marcus Williams got a good pass deflection in crunch time. It was good. The Bears played like, say it with me now, shit again. Not only are they shit, Mitch Trubisky only got 34 of 54. He played like shit. He only got 2 touchdown passes. And if you pass like that, shouldn't you be getting over 300 yards? It came off play action. Let's not use Tyreek Cohen and David Montgomery. Let's come into just ripping off Allen Robinson and Anthony Miller so much that they can only catch streak routes. Oh, that's it. No flea flickers. No nothing. Tyreek Cohen was so fucked up over the backfield. Khalil Mack couldn't do shit. And he only got 8 tackles. And he was edging up. They couldn't stop Bridgewater. Prince Amukamara, Nick Williams. None of those accumulated over the picks. And I thought Bridgewater wasn't throwing the best he had done, but he still got over 200 yards. I was shocked. And they played terribly against Miami. And they come raping the Bears? Shocker. Came off a couple failed red zone conversions and a scoring drive that went nowhere for the Bears. So the Bears lose. I think they're now 3-3. So yeah. Not the best game for the Bears I've seen in a year. And they haven't been playing well. They've been playing on and off. Came off an injury of Mitch Trubisky. Trubisky played like shit like week 1. We knew this wasn't going to be the same Mitchell we saw from last year because they actually had Jordan Howard. Speaking about Jordan Howard, now, most rushing TDs by a quarterback in franchise history. 21 and Dak Prescott did it. He also got a couple good passing yards. And it came off a bonehead fumble from the Eagles tight end. You got back Jalen Mills, even though you guys need more of a secondary. Trade for Pat Peterson. Do something to make sure that you actually have a visible defense. You have no Bennett. Nelson Aguilar fucking sucks. Oh, God. I feel bad. Jordan Howard played like shit, only 50 yards. Carson Wentz is literally the most vocal part of your offense, even though he threw a pick. Dallas Goddard. Goddard was your leading receiver. He's your tight end. He fumbled the football and got a scoring drive. You know how many times Ezekiel Elliott scored in this game? These 3 times. Alshon Jeffrey was just getting the ball chucked to him. The offensive line wasn't doing justice. Your defense was playing like shit the entire game. Only Jalen Mills, the returning corner, got an interception, but it didn't accumulate to much. What was this game? Someone explain to me. Only one tackle for loss happened in this game because we actually have a better offensive line. The Cowboys actually came to play, and now they're getting Michael Bennett from the Patriots. Mark Cooper played well. Ezekiel Elliott raped the D-line for what it was. That was an overrated wretch. And the slow motif of high school style football does not work for the Eagles like it did in the Super Bowl because they actually had differential playmakers. And now their secondary is a joke. Their pass rushers are a joke. They get barely over. They can't even pressure Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott was the second leading rusher in the game and went for 239 yards after throwing 3 touchdown passes. I think the week before. And this is coming off an up and down season for the Eagles, and an on and off for the Cowboys. Since the Cowboys lost 3 straight. And the Eagles lost 2 of their last 3, so what's their excuse? They played like shit. They are gonna be shit. And I see them at least being 7-9, because this isn't good football from the Eagles unless they make a move. Getting Michael Bennett and the Eagles get Jalen Mills. How's that a fair exchange? This was a terrible ass game. This was one of my favorites because I've never seen a Super Bowl winner from just a few seasons ago come off and play like shit against a Cowboys team because they don't have that many playmakers. Yeah, Jordan Howard playing mediocrely. Alshon Jeffrey couldn't barely get a cinch of the ball because Carson Wentz is too pressured from the defense and the linebacker, and they actually have a good linebacker in their team. Randall Cobb wasn't playing like shit. Jason Witten was catching over a lot of faggots. So did Michael Gallup. You're telling me that I have to rely on Nelson Aguilar and Dallas Goedert to do me work in the red zone or the third down conversions? This was just a joke of a football game. They lose 37-10. You're telling me that the Eagles are going to come back? I feel bad for Eat That Pussy 445 right now. And that's not just a random name, so I can just say Eat That Pussy. That's a legit YouTuber. Oh, wow. See how he feels for all these years. Because I've never seen a team fall this low, and they think that they're still contenders. How can you be that confident? I'm not. I'm a Niners fan. We haven't won a Super Bowl since before I was born. And I was so excited when they faced off against Baltimore that I thought it would be easy pickings. Because I was a Niners fan, I was super young. I thought Pat Willis was better than Ray Lewis. That's how naive I can get. Now the final game we're going to talk about is the Patriots and Jets. And it was the fucking Patriots. They have won 17 of their last 19 games against the Jets. And they are shit. The Jets suck. They had an easy road. Big whoop. You guys beat the Cowboys. You forgot that your quarterback is a complete, utter joke under pressure. And especially when he's chucking over the football. Le'Veon Bell couldn't get a cinch of anything. The receiving core was a joke. Goddamn, the secondary made a mockery of the goddamn quarterback. Oh, boy. And I'm not going to go over this game because, of course, the Patriots were going to win. There was no question the Patriots were going to win. The Jets have no tools to make this team threatening. And that's it from the DST Show. Because I have a lot more shit to do. Thank you. My picks for Week 8 are going to come later in the afternoon or tomorrow morning. So, thank you for watching and taking your time to watch this thing. I'm happy that the Niners win. I hate every other team. The next 31 teams suck ass. Patriots have an easy ass schedule. I have nothing to speak about with the goddamn Patriots. Thank you for watching.